He's known as the Indiana Jones of natural resources. Senior analyst Sean Brodrick weighs in on a hot commodity.
Copper is one of those hard assets we are seeing a rise in.
The thing about copper is it hasn't done well for quite some time. It's actually been down in the dumps, right? But lately, we are starting to see copper start to improve in a dramatic way. We've seen some nice price action in copper, some nice volume.
The spot price of copper has rallied 13% higher than its recent lows. It's now trading in the range of $3.54 per pound.
Normally, it's in something called contango, where the future price of something is higher because there's always risks in the future. But now it's in backwardation, which is when the immediate price is going higher, which tells us that people in the markets need copper now.
Copper is the best transmitter of electricity out of all of the base metals. Sean plays to copper's strength as editor of Wealth Megatrends, Resource Trader, and Super Cycle Investor.
We are seeing the premium for the copper you can buy right now surge. People are just turning more bullish on copper in the short term.
And long term, global demand is expected to soar.
We all have more devices that are more plugged in now. I have a friend with a toaster that talks to him. I never had anything like that. And so the more wiring we have in the world, the more electrical demand we have in the world, the more copper demand there is going to be in the world.
The green energy sector needs it. Offshore wind, for example, requires long cables.
I mean, the amount of copper they need for that is about twice as much as for onshore wind. And the amount of copper they need for onshore wind is just insane.
Sean, you use the 50-day moving average as an important metric.
The 50-day moving average is what I use as a dividing line between intermediate term bull moves and bear moves. And if you're on the right side of it, that tends to be kind of bullish. Now, the thing with copper is the 200-day moving average, which is a long-term trend indicator, is still up there. Could it go bounce its head on that? Maybe it could, but it'll be an exciting ride.
Sean says an ETF that moves closely with the price of copper is the Global X Copper Miners ETF. It tracks a basket of 39 companies around the world in copper mining and processing.
That moves so closely with copper. Plus, you get paid a nice dividend. I think copper miners are just going to have a great time going forward.
And what about EVs? Electric vehicles need about 3.5 times the amount of copper compared to an internal combustion engine, and EV sales are booming. The more EVs on the road, the more charging stations will need to be built.
That's another investment opportunity. Those companies that are building the recharging infrastructure across the US, across the world, they are going to be making a lot of money, and I think there's some real potential there as well.
The number of sales projected will likely be a lot higher on the heels of the Inflation Reduction Act.
They also put $260 billion in new and extended clean energy tax credits to incentivize energy companies and utilities to produce more solar, more wind, more hydropower energy.
Solar is already skyrocketing here in the U.S.
It's already growing at a 34% rate. This is a baseline. It's probably going to get much, much higher.
One reason solar is so popular is the cost of getting panels has plunged.
They will come out with ways to make solar even cheaper now. The use of solar will increase. One problem that we have seen is there isn't enough battery storage. When the sun goes down and people want to use electricity at home, that's kind of a problem.
That tech innovation for battery storage and solar efficiency creates opportunities for investors. One way to get in on the action is through the Invesco Solar ETF. It trades about 1.5 million shares a day.
It isn't just companies that make solar cells, it's the whole industry. And so that's a good, easy way to invest in like this big mega trend that's ongoing.
And Sean's portfolios have positions in profitable individual stocks that are making waves.
Senior analyst Sean Brodrick, it is always terrific to speak with you and get your insights. Thank you so much for making time for me today.
Thanks. I always have a good time.